Hey guys, it's Pimp Daddy 28 here, and today I wanted to have a little bit of a pyro discussion over an issue that's kind of been bugging me as of late, and it's concerning the potential phasing out permanently, that is, of the ball shell, and in favor of using these 1-inch canister shells. Now, my opinion is that maybe I want to say somewhere 5 years down, within the next 5 to 10 years, maybe 5 years, that'd be my guess, is that these ball shells will probably no longer be produced. And whatever is going to be available out there is going to be from like past lot years and whatnot. And pretty much this will be the official artillery shell, the 1-inch canister or cylindrical shell. Now that in itself kind of really grinds my gears. It really, to put it frankly, pisses me off because I really prefer the artillery shell. Now, part of the reason why that's happening is because back in 2014, I believe, there was a factory explosion in China. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys heard about that. And so the Chinese officials were, scurrying around trying to find something to blame, and they pretty much said, oh, it's the ball shell, it's probably because of how it's made and whatnot. That's what caused the explosion. And I think some investigation was done later, and it found out that it was more of employee error and how they handled the shells and whatnot, or even some of the items in that items in that factory. But the Chinese officials nonetheless decided to kind of make some strict regulations on how to make these shells and whatnot. And so not that many places or factories in China make these ball shells now. And if they make them, there's like strict regulations on them. And on top of that, the prices for making these shells went up immediately following those explosions. So it really wasn't worth it to many retailers to carry these shells anymore. And so they opted to carry the 1-inch canister shells. Case in point, WF Boom, they're one of the few stores that I know that still sell ball shells on a large basis. So, and part of that is because they have their own factory, so they have an advantage that most other fireworks stores don't. So they sell these shells called Whistling Blaster. Now this is a 2014 version. This is by AFW, and ever since those factory explosions, the Whistling Blaster shells weren't the same. They look different. They're produced different. Like you see these here. Let me kind of pull it out, and I'll show it for you guys real quick. Let me kind of pause the video. All right. So the 2014 version has kind of like a blue or bluish green paper wrapped around the shell itself. And I did record a video of this back in 2014. I'll show it to you guys right now, actually. Whistling Blaster. All right, so that was the 2014 Whistling Blaster. Now I'm going to show you guys the same version of the Whistling Blaster, but the 2016 version, sorry. I'm going to show you the same shell, but the 2016 version of it. And this one has a brown paper wrapping around the shell. It's not like bluish green wrapped like these are. And I'll show you guys a video of that as well. You got Whistling Blaster by Orion. Hopefully these will do better than a Dominator. This is this year's version, by the way. Kind of hoping that, yeah, go. They do better. They suck this year. 4 Whistling Blasters. Wow. So it's pretty much a night and day difference between these two shells. As you see, the 2014 version was definitely a lot powerful. It broke like how an artillery shell should break. The 2016 version broke closer to that of a festival ball than an artillery shell. It wasn't as powerful, and was very, very disappointed when I saw that. And it kind of gave me a little bit of a window, as you say, as to where ball shells are probably heading in terms of performance. And maybe this is being done deliberately to get customers to kind of gravitate towards this. That way they could just immediately phase this out at some point. I don't know. But and on top of that, the cost for buying these shells, like these whistling blasters, back in 2014, the case price at WF Boom for these whistling blasters were anywhere from 54 to 57 bucks. So it didn't cost that much. Now the case price is $70. Now $13, may not be like a really big jump in price, but it's still significant because I think it happened within the span of a year, and it wasn't like a gradual increase. So it's noticeable. And on top of that, you're paying for a product that's half as good as what it should be. So I mean, I'm not happy about the direction that this is heading, and I'm kind of a little bit worried because I'm thinking, well, maybe 5 years or 10 years down the line, maybe we won't see these shells anymore on the shelves of our local fireworks store or fireworks tent or whatever wherever you guys would shop. So I kind of regret not getting a case of these or having a case of these because these were very, very good. I had intended to get a case the year after, but they were not. The boxes weren't the same. I mean, the shells didn't look the same, so it kind of worried me a little bit. And so I bought a box in 2016, and I saw the difference, and it kind of left me a little bit disappointed. So let me know what you guys think. Do you believe that the future of the ball shell is in trouble? Do you believe that they'll eventually get phased out for these 1-inch artillery shells that we have right now? Or is it going to be kind of split? Pretty much some of this, some of that, and pretty much the customer chooses. Because I'll tell you right now, if the ball shells get phased out, the regular average fireworks consumer, the regular, the once-a-year customer is not going to mind. Because most of those customers will take the shell kit, use the tube that's in it, and pretty much toss it out after they're done. But for the pyro hobbyists like myself, we like to use a lot of these shells and use the tubes that are fit for them. And these shells fit in those HDPE DR11 tubes or even the fiberglass tubes. But with these shells, they're not going to fit. They're going to need special tubes for these. I don't even know if they fit the DR9s, to be honest. So you're going to have to use the cardboard tubes that come with them, which, I'm not exactly in favor of. And I really don't know what else to say about it, but I sincerely hope that this is not heading in the direction that I think it's heading in. And, I mean, here's hoping that they also the Chinese, get their heads out of their asses and stop making these stupid claims about these ball shells and just produce them like they normally produce them, and, kind of take those regulations away, or restrictions away, should I say. So the production of these shells wouldn't be as hindered. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.